Hey everybody. So Notorious be out here, obviously. I just want to talk to you about the last episode of Rain World Drought and why you're never going to see it. Um, so I lost my cool pretty bad. In I think it was episode like 33. Hang on, let me check. It's in here somewhere. Anyway, well, it doesn't really matter. I think it is 33 though. Yeah, 33. So I lost my cool pretty bad. And I started listing out a bunch of reasons as to why that happened. And at the end of the day, those reasons don't really matter. I mean, they do, but in the grand scheme of things, they really don't. Really, what it comes down to is I'm not going to post the video because I think that I was overly harsh. And while those feelings were very genuine at the time, I don't think that the way that I handled it was good. I will lay out some of the ways that I feel about Rain World Drought right now, or in this, video, I suppose. And this is likely going to be quite a bit shorter than regular Rain World video. So I think that the person who created Drought had a good idea, and the follow through just kind of, I don't want to say it fell flat because it did not fall flat. There are things about Drought that I thought were very, very good, like the level design and the kind of, like, I thought the special ability for the slugcat was really cool. I thought that I think there were only two new creatures. I can't really be 100% certain about that, but it felt like there was only two new creatures. I'm not really sure, though. It felt like they were... I liked the way they looked. I didn't really appreciate their jank. Like, the weird dragon reindeer thing. That was... I just don't even know what the hell is going on with those things. But also, the weird, like, water dragon. I did not really care for that thing at all. One, because of how goddamn fast it was basically like a vulture of the water, but faster, if you can imagine that. At least it felt faster anyway. But thankfully, I mean, it seemed to die in one hit from a spear, but also at the same time, like, it seemed to not really matter what part of it touched you, you just kind of died. But I think it was in the episode that also aired today, because I'm going to post this on Wednesday, and we're just not going to have anything on Friday, because like I said, I really don't feel comfortable posting what I recorded because I don't think I handled it very well. Anyway, I do think that the difficulty. Wow, English. I can speak it. I promise. I do think the difficulty in certain places was a little too much. Like, it really, I think that in the intake or whatever it was called, the area, basically the water level, the last area that we were in. And all the areas kind of in and around that with all the water and the gravity and whatever. It was just too much. Like, my perspective is if I create something, it's because I want somebody to be able to see it. I don't want them to, beat their head against it forever because, I don't want... if somebody wants to create something that's extremely hard, I think that they should certainly make that clear, and I don't think it was terribly clear from the description of the mod. And that's not to say that, like, the rest of the mod was insanely hard. It was hard and frustrating at times, but sometimes you need to frustrate the player a little bit. But I think that people misunderstand what that really means. Like, if it's a teaching moment, sure, frustration's okay. But if it's like, I don't know, you're just frustrating the player for ha-has, that I think says more about the person creating the thing than the person playing it. So I don't really, like, full disclosure, I really don't have the patience to continue with Drought. Quite frankly, at a certain point, I actually just wanted it to be over and was looking forward to the end of the video when I could just say goodbye because I just did not want to play it anymore. And that sucks. I hate that feeling because I could feel it bleeding over into my feelings for Rain World, which I hate because, and I mean, I hate the feelings, not I hate Rain World. Rain World is still one of my very favorite games of all time. It's so, I don't know, man. There's just something so special about Rain World. Like it's so unique. And well, okay, that's not the point of the video. But anyway, and that's not why I do this. If people want to see somebody actually get like mad and break a controller, that's not me. I am not that person. I, you know, I have enough things to be angry about in real life. I don't need a video game to also make me annoyed. And that's not to say that that was the goal of the person that made the mod, but like I do feel that in some places the execution wasn't wasn't really up to the expectation that I kind of had from what people were saying about it. Um, because it I don't want to say that it felt lazy, but in some places it did feel a little bit lazy, where it was just like, here's a whole bunch of animals that are going to try to eat you. Haha, have fun. And it just, especially with all the gravity stuff, that just felt even more frustrating because it was like, I'm already in a place that I have to, and that was one of the things, the waiting just kills me so bad. And when I say the waiting, I mean like for the water to go down and the water to come up, because it literally is like you have to wait, because if you try to engage with this now, you either can't go anywhere if the water's coming up because it forces you to the top, or it kills you because it sucks you to the bottom if you so much as press down like once, you know, which really really sucks. Because so you just have to sit there and wait for the cycle to be, and it's eating time out of your day cycle, and it's just like then you have to deal with all these freaking monsters that show up, and just and there weren't a lot of good places to just go and like, I'm going to grab some food and I'm just going to wait for the next cycle because it's longer. Like the other thing is, I didn't die to the cycles that much. Like I think I died to the cycle ending in the last. So full disclosure, I did not make it past. I think it was called the reservoir. I think the reservoir is the furthest that I got in the entirety of the last episode, which was 40 minutes long. I didn't even make it to that point again because it was just constant, like, enemies in places that I could not possibly get past. Because it was things like, there was a salamander in the water, and I can't really deal with that because I have to wait for them to get close to be able to spear them while in the water. And then, and you could say, oh yeah, well you could just wait for him to come out. Okay, that's nice, but that also eats into the cycle time. So it was just like, I can't, just too many things at once. You know what I mean? And it just became way too much. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break from Rain World for a little bit because I need to clear my mind and kind of just do something else for a little bit. What's likely going to happen is I'm going to do more Bad North because I still very much enjoy that game. And it's funny because for a long time I was like, I like the game, but I can't play it all the time. And for whatever reason, it's just like interactions with people regarding the game make it that much more fun for me to play. As in, like, I'm constantly having those ideas in my head, and, I'm constantly thinking about those things. And, even though it may not always show, like, I don't know, I don't want to go too deep into that because this is a completely different series. But anyway, so what I'm probably going to try to do, and I don't know if I'll actually have it set up in time, because I've still got I've got so much stuff going on right now, and you might be like, yeah, but is that really what's happening? Because it's like nobody's really able to go outside. Yeah, well, that's fine, but I also work from home now and have a ridiculous amount of projects that my higher ups are throwing at me and stuff because I don't know why. I mean, some of it I'm like, yes, this is something we need to do, but at the same time, why are you making this so humongous and so like we have to get this done in the next month or whatever? Like, and I don't know why I'm doing Mr. Moneybags voice. I don't even know, is that a Mr. Moneybags voice? I have no idea. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get the mod set up that allows you to play the hunter without a time limit. Reason being is it's just something that I find very interesting. Like that's kind of something that I wanted for the hunter in the first place. I appreciate that it has the time limit, but at the same time, I don't know. Like I guess I wanted more time to just play with it and just kind of see what I could do with it, because the hunter is supposed to be more agile, doing more damage. You can carry more spears, etc. Like there's a lot of stuff going on with the hunter that for whatever reason in my brain when I saw that there was a time limit that caused like immediate misfire, malfunction, short circuiting in my brain that was like, oh, can't play around, must go do the thing and finish all the stuff, and like, oh my god. And I think I want to say on stream I may have managed to get. I don't think I ever ascended with the hunter. I think the furthest I got was one stream. I got to 5 pebbles, talked to him, and he would, he did his shtick and was like, "Get out of here, you stinky slugcat." he's just he's a grumpy old man, who's got better things to do, I guess. He's me. He's just my can is my office, and that's just all it is. Actually, don't take that out of context, because the can also be a toilet. Never mind. Just forget I said anything. Anyhow, so I'm interested in that, and if I can't get that working, hopefully what I'll just be able to do is uninstall the drought mod and just play the hunter a little bit more. And I'm thinking like I may just make a series out of trying to kind of not master but be better at doing any or all of the kind of like movement tricks that you can do with the slugcat. Because the thing with the slugcat is like, if you don't know the movement tricks, slugcat feels kind of like a sack of bricks. But if you do know them, then you actually feel like a hunting cat, like an agile predator, or prey, or both. An agile slugcat. There we go. An agile weasel. Which, by the way, I don't know if you ever know this. My wife and I went walking and actually did see a real life slugcat, aka a fisher cat, in the wild, which was really crazy. And they are very big by comparison. I mean, it's just a really big weasel. That's what it comes down to. Anyhow, so I think I've given enough reasons as to why it is that we're not doing any more drought. I just, normally I can beat my head against something for a long time, but, and not really have any problems with it. Because let me put it this way. I am a person who enjoys playing Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. Like, that game is a zen game to me. Like, that game I just enjoy playing. And I've never beat it. But it is still a game that I'm like, yeah, I like this game. I can play it and not get mad at all. And just have a good time. But for whatever reason, Rain World Drought just, it struck me, it hit a nerve, I guess. And I think it was because, there are times when I'm like, okay, I screwed up. I did something wrong. And that is what killed me. And then the majority of the rest of the time, I'm like, there's so many goddamn monsters. I get overwhelmed, and I just, like, this, it almost feels like it's an anti-me game. Like, it almost feels like it was built to make me annoyed. Or, like, to just overload my brain. And I hate that, So I guess if the mod maker ever watches this, or mod makers, I forget if the team was just one person or more than one person, I guess what I would say is, I appreciate the level designs. I do not appreciate whatsoever some of your enemy placements. And I think that a lot more care could be put into the mod, because there were also sections that I was like, why does this not have a screen? Like, there was that big water pool in the last area that I was in where, I would dive down and there was no screen transition, nothing. But then you look at the map and you're like, you can totally go around that. So what the heck? Like that was one of the biggest frustrations for me, sort of, was just like, I don't understand why you don't allow me to go around this. Like, if I get one of those lobster dolphins, like, just let me bypass it, for the love of God. That was another thing that just, I still don't understand in the reservoir area. Like, I think it was in the second episode this week, I jumped, and like I did the super yeet jump, the boost, and like I did two of the boost jumps, and then just died somehow. No like spears sticking out of me, no like real thing showing me why I died. There was also some weird places with screen transitions that I think need work. And I don't want to be like rude, but at the same time I want to be as candid as possible and just say like I I think the mod right now is roughly like, I hate giving things ratings, but if I was going to, I would say the art is like 9 out of 10. 9 or 8 out of 10, I would say. It's very, very good. And by the art, I mean like kind of the way that the levels were, the visuals of the levels. The challenge and difficulty, and like the overall gameplay, I feel like the boost could have been featured more, or like there could have been more interesting things done with it. I like that it slows down time, but at the same time, haha, I don't know, it just feels like if it's only for getting past certain obstacles, like could you not have just given us a grapple worm? You know what I mean? Or like more spears? I don't know. It feels like there could be more done with it. I think that so to rate the difficulty, I think the difficulty is like, and this is just for the new areas, is like a 2 out of 10. It's like it's there's pretty much no difficulty in Looks to the Moon, which is fine, you know, because that's supposed to be like a lore place with no danger. But you know, in some of the new areas, it was just like, you know, the shelters are way too far apart, and you know, it's like they didn't really consider it, he, she, they did not really consider that you can get bad cycles in these new areas with no food, and by bad cycles I mean short cycles. So it's just like I don't like the term artificial difficulty, but this feels like artificial difficulty. Like you're just, you know, like the developer's just in the background, like, haha, you died again, haha. And it's like that okay, but if that was the purpose, I worry for your brain. I worry for your sanity and your like overall demeanor as a person. If that was your goal, is just to make people mad, and I cannot assume that that is it. I really I don't feel that that is justified at all. So I really think that it was just either oversight or they listened to somebody they shouldn't, you know, and by that I mean like maybe they enlisted the help of like somebody who is really, really, really good at Rain World, and they were like, this isn't hard enough. And honestly, that person is really far up their own ass if that person exists. Like, to think that I detest the idea of like you have to make games that are hard enough so that I like it. Like that annoys me. You know, like, and I don't want to get too deep into this conversation because like you could say the same thing about, you know, like Dark Souls or whatever, but to me Dark Souls is a very good game. Same thing with Rain World. Like the difficulty is there, but it's not overpowering. You know, it's in the original Rain World, it is really just about patience. In Drought, it seems like in the last area, it is just about trying over and 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 over ad nauseum until either you give up or the game gives up. And you could say that that's exactly how Dark Souls is, but I don't feel that that's the case. Like, and even if that was the case, Dark Souls, at least to me, has like a reason for that to be the case. You know, like there's like a story reason for that to exist. And really, you know, let's be honest, Dark Souls is not that difficult. People who like to say that it's like the hardest game on the planet, I don't think that they know what they're going on about. Like Dark Souls it is difficult. I had a lot of trouble the first time that I played through the game, but it was a lot of fun. And like, you know, okay, this video is not about Dark Souls. So anyway, that's it for Drought. I hope you all enjoyed what was there for Drought. Yeah, I guess I will see you all next week with more Rain World. Hopefully. All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for me. I hope you all did enjoy it. If, ooh, wow. English. God, there's a lot of stimuli right now. Like, there's a siren going off in the background. I don't know if you can hear it. And, like, I got my work laptop. I just saw I got an email, so I'm like, okay, I got to shut that when I'm doing this. Anyway, so I hope you all enjoyed this episode and the one previous. And if you did, you know what to do. That is me from me, Notorious BLT. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye, folks.